All right. Thanks everybody for joining us for our Fast and Furious series. Our next speaker is actually at her very first ShmooCon, also her very last ShmooCon. Let's keep the applause going for I'm Not Your Enemy from Fencl.
Yeah, keep it going for me. Awesome. So my name's Fencl. I am the Senior Content Marketing Manager and Security Researcher in Training at Domain Tools. And I know what you might be thinking. I don't know you. I've never seen you before. Why should I pay attention to you? I don't know. When I put this together, I figured it would be a more aggressive crowd, but you guys seem pretty friendly. That's my purse. But but before I came to Domain Tools, I was a marketer at a couple different places. But let me back up for a second. I've been in InfoSec for about 3 years now. I am also the co-host of the Breaking Badness security podcast. And then prior to that, I was the marketer for a fastener distributor, which was super sexy work, as I'm sure you can imagine. And then I moved on to be a marketer at a drone manufacturer. And now I'm here talking with you guys today. But the thing that all of these things have in common is I would be faced with people who would say things to me like, all you do is play on Facebook all day. I would have practitioners and subject matter experts say things like that, or, you know what, we don't really need marketing because the product should really stand for itself, and I don't really see why we need to, put any money or any effort into that because it should just speak for itself. But the thing is, the product is an inanimate object, and it can't really speak for itself until AI products gain sentience. We really do need to focus on some content, and I think we can all agree, we would like some good content. We would like our website to not suck. We would like our blog posts to be visited. We would like the work that we do, the work that we showcase to have an audience, and we'd like to be proud of that. And practitioners are a really good source of getting that fodder for the website, by looking through, the research that you're doing and publishing. But, we recognize that there's other things that practitioners have to do in their daily lives and, talking with customers, handling other things that have to do with their job description, and content is not always number one. So who should be doing that when they're not readily available? And I think that should be somebody like me. So we can agree on that. We can agree that somebody needs to be doing this. And then we need to agree on, well, who is this content for, which is why I would like to talk a little bit about ICP, which is Ideal Customer Profile, not Insane Clown Pussy. So some of the questions we outline here is, who is this, who are we creating the content for? And I think practitioners are great at answering all of these questions because you're talking with customers and prospects so often, especially, what are their pain points? What's the goal that they're striving for? As a marketer, I might not get that information unless my practitioners are, readily sharing that information back with me. And if they're not doing something like that, if they're not willing to share that or they're too busy, we're in the danger of me, going to Google, trying to cobble together some, articles that I can find to make something that's slightly cohesive and hopefully meaningful. But I think we can all agree that when we do something like that, we're in the danger of creating something that we might call fluff. Yeah. Oh no, my GIF's not working. That's so sad. But yeah, there is a way to combat this, and it is with something that I have been calling method marketing, and the idea behind that is, somebody like me, a marketer, is trying to do their own research to fill that gap where practitioners can't necessarily make a deadline or create something in a time frame that marketing needs to push out there. So I'm trying to step into the shoes of a researcher and create my own. And this is actually not really a topic that's, that unheard of these days. We're hearing more about practitioners making the leap into marketing, like your Jason Haddocks and your Clint Giblers and the cybersecurity content guild. There's definitely people making the jumps from practitioner to marketing. So I'm doing that in reverse. I'm trying to do my own research and create my own articles and speak at webinars to fill that gap. So I wanted to share with you today a campaign that I worked on. And it all started on the American Girl doll subreddit, because of course it does. And the question posed on the American Girl subreddit was, is this website legit? And this person is looking for discontinued merchandise, because why not? We all want discontinued merchandise at a price point that works for us. And the domain in question was usgirlshop.com. Like right off the bat, I'm like, I wouldn't do that. And then looking at the screenshot this person shared, as a marketer, practitioner in training, and American Girl super duper fan, I'm like, the logo's old, the font is funky, like there's just a lot of things that make it kind of look like a phishing email that I'm just like, I would not be comfortable giving my credit card information to this website. But I wanted to take a look deeper. So I used Domain Tools Iris Investigate, and I could see right away that the proximity score is 100, which means it's already been reported to a reputable block list. But there's still indicators that show that this is worth looking at more, like the phishing score and the malware score in that yellow kind of like, I don't know about this kind of territory. We could also see that the registrant country is China. I know that this company was started in Madison, Wisconsin, as the super fan that I am. I can also tell that there's frequent SSL certificate changes. So it's just like, yes, there is a there, I think. But all the while, I'm asking myself, this is stupid, right? Like, any findings that I'm able to show might seem too rudimentary for a practitioner. They're going to be like, yeah, you found that, big deal. Anybody could do that. Or, what is the crossover between American Girl and InfoSec? It's probably very, very small. And I'm not sure if I write a blog post about this, anybody's going to give a shit about it. But I'm so lucky that I work with a lot of colleagues that were saying, no, I don't think what you're saying is stupid. I think this is meaningful, and I think you should dig deeper. In fact, I had a few domain tools researchers tell me, you know what, that usgirlshop.com domain, I recognize that domain. And there was actually something larger scale happening in a parallel investigation that they were working on, where they uncovered e-commerce domain fraud and Ponzi schemes, and US Girl Shop was actually part of that. So what they found was these bad actors were churning over domains on a daily basis to make them look like other domains. So they were impersonating brands like American Girl and GameStop and Steve Madden. And basically, these threat actors were defrauding my inner child, is what's going on here. So what we found was, that it really just made me feel good. Like, it made me feel like, okay, I'm on the right track. There is a there. And basically, it's not stupid. Man, none of my gifts are working. As a marketer, this really like kills me. But yeah, what I also found was while the research that they were working on was more technical and probably more beneficial to a practitioner audience, the material that I was working on fit better with an audience that was maybe not as technical in nature, but they're also part of the buying process. That's people like in finance or legal teams who still need to understand why DNS and domain intelligence is important, but they don't need all the nitty-gritty details behind it. So what I was working on was perfect for them. And you know what? They're part of the decision-making to maybe say, this is a product that we want to buy. And I can say that, but really, what is the actual impact there? And this is not going to be a presentation unless I mention AI, which I know I already did, but I'm going to mention it again. So remember how I said you have those fluff pieces? They might have been good for search engine optimization. They're heavy with keywords, and they're good at when you're trying to come up first in Google, maybe. But with the way that AI is going, I'm a little bit. My theory is that in 6 months to a year from now, like those fluffy pieces are just not going to be doing it for anybody. We're going to always be questioning, where was this found? Who wrote it? It was ChatGPT. So my thought is we need to be creating more bespoke research pieces like this. And again, practitioners super busy might not always be readily available to do something like that. So we need to fill in that gap. So when practitioners, like the ones that I work with, are super flexible with their time and patient with me as I'm trying to hone my skills, I'm able to create a piece that is beneficial to somebody. So in that way, marketing plus practitioners equals enhanced credibility for that ICP audience that I mentioned earlier. And it has impacts that feel a whole lot like Christmas morning. This is me, Christmas 1997-ish, maybe. So the internal impact, I feel like my team and I got so much closer during this whole process. I gained trust, of course, with the practitioners, also the sales team and product team. Really, we are one team, one dream. And again, I am not your enemy. I'm not trying to like take what you do and strip anything down. I want to meet you where you are. Like, this is my battle cry of, I heard you when you said that the content was too fluffy, and it hurt my feelings a little bit, and I want to mitigate that. So just meet me where you are, and we can do something together and make some really cool content that is meaningful to everybody in that ideal customer profile. So the external impact to that is, you gain trust with people who maybe are your prospects, and maybe this piece of content earned you the right to a conversation that you wouldn't have had otherwise, which is really cool. And when you have access to conversations you might not have had otherwise, it comes down to that monetary impact, because it's all about the Hamiltons, baby. That's what we care about, right? Because I think most of us here, yes, we want to give bad actors more bad days, of course, but we also work for organizations that support our livelihood. So we want to make some money in the process of doing that. So what we can see here, especially in this example, is with a calendar year of publishing this blog post, we were able to land a client that directly used this piece to legitimize, this is why we need this product. Legal team especially. This is why you, as the legal team, need to contribute some budget to that so we can make this dream come true. So in that way, the relationship between marketing and practitioners does have a material impact on revenue. All right, so that is all I've got for you today. I know we only had 10 minutes. If you have any questions, please find me in the lobby. Otherwise, I did put all of my information here. I didn't realize I needed to put the server on Mastodon, so I am on the InfoSec server. I'm also on Signal, and I've included my email. Thank you so much, everybody.